All right. Well, hey, friends, welcome to Resilience with Rebecca. This is Rebecca, and we are talking today about real conversations with real people about real life. We talk about the subject of resilience because we want to talk about getting into the middle of the messy middle, but then actually getting back up on our feet again. And the tips and tools that are dropped here are absolute nuggets of gold. And I am looking forward to today's conversation. Today, I'm joined by my fellow resilience builder, Anne. Now, Anne has for over 20 years, she has given clarity and career guidance to men, women, and to the military. Her passion lies in asking in-depth questions to enable her clients to find their authentic selves. Love authenticity, Anne. That is the starting of deciding on a career path. Anne has also become a mentor for the ACP, the American Corporate Partners, which is a military program that assists veterans and current soldiers in finding a career path, along with over 15 years as a volunteer for the employment support of National Guard and Reserves, teaching USERRA laws to protect the soldiers while they are being deployed. She also runs an employment support group, which is free to everyone looking to grow networks and become empowered. Thank you for being here, Anne.
Oh, my pleasure. Very exciting.
Yeah, well, I wasn't 100% aware that you were dealing with so much with the military. That's awesome.
Yeah, the Rhode Island National Guard pulled me in to help them probably uh, 17 years ago, to be honest with you. And back then, that ESGR program was employment and then USERRA laws. So they've kind of dropped off the employment now. But so it's been so enriching. And when you talk about resilience,
Yeah.
when you see somebody that's come back from 2 or 3 years of deployment and in being in battle and everything, the resilience to actually leave the military or work within the civilian workplace, you need it and you need guidance on that one. So it's been
Wow.
my honor to help them.
Wow. Well, thank you for serving our veterans. My dad was a
Yeah.
veteran, so that speaks very close to.
Oh, good. That's nice to hear. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question, Anne, since we're talking about resilience today. Is there a story or a circumstance that you'd be willing to share with us today about when you felt like life may have handed you more than you were ready for, or whatever? You, what helped you build resilience in that season, and how did you keep going?
Oh, I've got a doozer for you. Everybody. Some people go through this and some people don't. But at the time where I really got a light bulb moment on resilience was I was going through a divorce. And thank heavens that I used everything that I teach my clients on focus and value and believing in yourself. And it was one day that I got a little message that said, I've done away with the internet and we don't have cable anymore. We have nothing. And I was like, that means that I have no business now. There's no emailing, no nothing. And I went into kind of shock. And I'll admit to everybody, I think I cried for quite a long time. And then I said, how do I get out of this? How do I rebuild this? And another one of my angel friends just happened, I was going over to her house one evening for a meeting. And I'm a very I don't open up too much to people about personal life stuff, but I
Mhm.
told her, I said, I just got my entire business wiped out. All my emails, everything is gone. And she
Wow.
said, it's not gone, Anne. This is what we're going to do. We're going to change your email address from Verizon to Gmail. So this will never happen again. Get you back online. And she did. And it took me days to email every single client, people like you, business associates, friends, and tell them my new address. So that really helped. But in the meantime, I sat on a friend's couch and said, "Can I just stay here for 2 days?" And I
Mm.
gave myself, I cried. I didn't know what to do. I prayed, you name it. And I said, okay, Anne, this is Monday. Wednesday, it all ends. Stop it. Do what you do when you tell your clients that's enough. And it's okay to grieve. It's okay to have your time to say, I'm not going to do much, or, woe is me and all that kind of stuff. But the resilience comes in when you change that switch in your mind and say, that's it. I'm going to get out, get up, contact people, and start all over again. And that's what I did. And
Wow.
it was a real eye opener as how much I love what I did. And I still do. Because before you think, oh, it's a job and it fits perfectly and everything. But that's when I got really fierce. It's like when somebody takes something of yours that you think is okay, and then they take it from you, and you're like, wait a minute. I love that thing too much. It means too much sentimental. I want it back. And that's what
Mm.
I did. So that's my resilience. That's my
Wow.
resilience story. It was a tough one. It was a tough one to deal with, but I got through it.
Wow. I had a similar situation, not similar, not to that extent, thankfully, but
Yeah.
where Facebook took everything, took my group, took my
Yeah.
business page, took my personal page and everything and completely wiped it out. And I don't know how many people I lost in the midst of that. So your ability to just, give yourself that time to just, hit a pillow and, why me for a couple of days and then to get
Right.
up and say it's time to dig my teeth in and get back on my feet. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like you, possibly, when you're struck with this catastrophic cutoff, you have no choice. Well, you have two choices. Either leave who you are behind, or say, I'm taking myself and I'm moving forward in a better way. And
Mm,
that's what I said. Now I've contacted over, at the time, probably 500 people that they hadn't heard from me in years. And I said, this is what's going on, which actually created more connections and more business because, "Oh, we haven't heard from you. Are you still doing the same thing, Anne?" Yes, I am. And by the way, it was a true blessing. And that's when I chose from Anne Humor to career coach Anne, which defined who I really was. I used the Anne humor for my greeting cards that I was designing, but I left that kind of behind and really redesigned what I do now. So it actually turned out okay, but it wasn't okay for 2 or 3 days. But
ah, yeah. Well, Maxwell's known as saying that sometimes you have to let go of the good to get the great.
yes,
I think that's what
yes,
we're talking about, setting aside something good to get the great that you have now. So
that's right. That's right.
go, girl. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. I love it. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel like your idea of what resilience was before that situation changed after that situation?
I think for me, before we took it for granted. We
Mm,
got through these difficult times because we had to. Stop crying. Don't do this. So what? Change your job. Work somewhere that you don't like. So you're resilient because you keep going, but you do it out of necessity. Where this was the switch was more like a vision of empowerment. Like, I am in control now more than I ever thought before. And I have the right to make the decisions that are correct for myself, not for somebody else, not for the family, not for the spouse, not for friends. I have a voice and I'm going to use it. And that's really what I learned. That was the difference between the resilience of just coping versus the resilience of now we're in an authentic time where I'm going to do what I need to do to be the best person. That's
yeah,
all I can say. It was like, it really was a defining moment. Yeah.
becoming authentically you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Did you ever? I'm sure that you felt like giving up and
I
just
did.
check it all. Let's go. Become a work at a car wash or a
Right.
pet wash or whatever, whatever you want to say.
Absolutely.
What's the thing that in the back of your mind, that little thing that kept saying, "Come on, Ann."
I think because coaching for me and where I chose career transitions was so tied into what and who I needed to be
Mm,
that, and I did think of, oh, I'll get the 9 to 5 job
hmm
with, working in an office or something, but it really literally made me sick. There's nothing wrong with that job. It just wasn't right for me. So for me, it was so aligned with who I am, the flexible careers, the flexible days. It's like you're in business for yourself. The flexible days, I can pick and choose who I want as clients. You can
hmm
pick and choose who you want on the podcast. You have more control over your life. You can design it the way you feel is best for you. And if you have those options,
Yeah.
guess what? You turn into being the authentic person that you were put here on earth to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be your career. You could be an artist, you could be volunteerism, but as long as it aligns with who you come out every day going, I feel great. This is who I'm meant to be. That's where the keys is. And I think because I suffered from that, from a teenager, then college, then what do I do?
hmm
And then seeing that's why I chose career transition, seeing my friends and people who are brilliant minded, funny as anything, passion for horses and everything else. And I saw them, you had go every day to a job that wasn't bad. That
hmm
was their everyday resilience. I
hmm
am paying the bills, and that's it. It- I'm like, there's got to be more than that. That's why I chose what I did, because everyone should have the chance to experience the resilience of being authentic versus surviving.
Yeah.
It completely different. It's
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah. That's awesome. I like the term when they say stop surviving and start thriving.
That's
Always
true.
making up new words lately. I'm on these little
Yes, isn't
things,
it wonderful?
all these little putting words together, and it's just like,
Yeah,
oh, they sound so funny and so cool. It
it's
just
true.
me.
No, it's true. What do you think about when you think about that new word thing? Half the companies that you buy from, invest with, or anything, that's a blended verse of what they were thinking of.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
Or they
Yeah,
say somebody dreamed up the pool noodle, so anything's possible.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. Ta-da! We created a new word today. This is exciting.
Exactly. So when you have those, what does resilience look like to you on the days when you don't feel maybe you're most passionate, you're strongest, your get up and go kind of stayed in bed that morning? What does it look like to you that day?
Day, for me, is a day of gratitude.
Mm,
That I can't even express. I have all my clients do gratitude journals. So you can start the day, and then I go in, and the days I'm really feeling sad and stuff like that, I do the mirror work sometimes, and people go, "Oh, I can't do it." But it's really easy after a while because it trains your mind to the positive. So I might sit in front of the mirror while I'm brushing my teeth and say in my mind, this is going to be a good day. You
mm,
are worth somebody loving you.
wow.
You can achieve anything that you want to. You just need a plan. This moment of sadness is only temporary.
Mm,
Tomorrow will be a better day. And then you build on that strength. And if some people really love routines, keep that routine. Some need flexibility. No, routines are very essential in knowing what's coming next.
mhm,
I've seen it a lot with post-traumatic stress clients where their minds are out of control, so routines are very important to them.
right.
And that's really what it feels like for me. I always practice gratitude in one or two ways in the morning, and I end my day when I'm laying in bed and I'm starting to go to sleep. I just thank everybody, everything for a bed to sleep in because there was a time I wasn't sure where I was going to be living. I thank God I have a car to take me to the places that I need to go. It's
Mm,
not, yes, I have a little bit of money so I can pay the bills this month. But at this point, as I'm getting older, it's also about the health. So
mm,
I'm glad I have the vision to ask questions if something comes up and seek help. And that just keeps you aligned. So gratitude for me is what helps me on my lowest days
mm.
to really keep on going.
Well, there's a lot of power in gratitude. It's one of those words that is overused, for lack of a better way to put it,
It
though.
is.
So, how would you define that to somebody who's like, I'm tired of people just throwing the word gratitude at me, or the word authentic to me, or the word intentionality, or whatever the word may be? Because some of those words are so overused that they lose their power.
Yeah, that's true.
How would you describe that to somebody who's really struggling? That I don't just tell me again to do this, or don't just tell me again to do that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I've had those days where I'm
I
just like
know.
listening to
But
a
please stop with
speaker,
the
and I'm
gratitude, and that's all very nice and well, but I feel like so low that big deal. I'd
yeah,
be like, what does it feel like to be authentic? I ask this question to my clients all the time, especially in the militaries. Who are you without your uniform, your
mm,
rank, being a mother, a father, a
mm,
brother? Who are you? Job title. And 95% of them have no idea. So I would say to them, who is your authentic self? And take it from there. And they'll probably say, I'm not quite sure. And then you start talking to yourself, going, what am I good at? I'm a
uh-huh,
loving, caring person. I I'm open for help. Just different things. I love being around people, or I love my quiet time. I'm an extrovert. You start exploring who you are.
right.
And in that process comes the feeling of gratitude because you'll be like, you know what? I have this opportunity to really find out who I am. Isn't that wonderful? It only takes a disaster like 9/11 or
Mm,
seeing a friend's child who has a disease that dies to
mm,
put your entire life in perspective.
right.
And that's gratitude, but in a different form. So
I like-
just drop the outside box, which is called gratitude, and let's focus on the contents of that, meaning to you. And that's where it will all shine, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm all about making things personal to the individual, whether it be myself or to a client, or to a group. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's all about making it personal. That's why I always say, resilience is a word I'm using right now, but
Yeah.
it's resilient season for me. So what it speaks to me right now. So that's
Yeah.
the word we're using.
Well, I'm going through something.
Hmm.
Don't fool you. I was younger, I never heard of anybody struggling or, well, maybe losing a job, but no one was incredibly ill. I don't remember any accidents. And then all of a sudden, you get older and people die, and you start hearing of diseases and stuff, and you realize how lucky you really were. But it brings awareness to you too. So, yeah,
Um,
it's, you have to look underneath that skin level. Like I heard a great thing, Cheryl Richards, and I really follow her a lot. And she was saying, that jerk that just passed you and cut you off on the highway, let it go because you don't know what they're going through. They could be speeding to the hospital because they just heard that their child was in an accident.
right.
So it's just teaching yourself different perspectives of what people are going through. And if you've got it, I've done this a lot of times. It's called toxic employee, where you've got one in the workplace and everybody hates them, but they bring the numbers in so the company keeps them on.
Hmm.
That toxic employee is suffering with something
Right.
from childhood or something, and that employer doesn't want to give up those numbers, but they can spew an entire division to leave. But if you look at it this way, you might not be able to do anything for your toxic boss, but what are you in control over? and you look at them and go, it's too bad that that person has to act that way or speak that way, but that's
Mhm.
on them, not
Right.
me.
Right.
Detach yourself from that. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. I think you're the third person in 2 days that's brought up the
Mhm.
word control. Like, what can we control? And it's not much, but
This moment,
we
that's
have
it.
a choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a choice to choose. I always tell my teenage daughter, she's like, this person's doing this and this person's doing that. And it's like, you can choose to involve yourself in that and get mired in the filth,
Hmm.
or you can
Right.
pick yourself up and decide, I don't want to be a part of that. I have better things to do with my time.
That's right.
And it's easier said than done.
That's right.
I don't
Because
want to,
she's not at the stage where she understands that because her whole world is those children, her, not children, classmates, I should say. And that's all they know.
right,
That's where their value systems are and everything else. And I want to be popular. I want to be liked. I don't want to be left out. So I will go over those boundaries sometimes and
right,
let them call me these things. You can let them call you those words and everything. But the difference between being called fatty and absorbing it is up to us.
right.
It's just learning how to,
Yeah,
understand that
right.
and gain the self-esteem to say, oh, nice try.
Well, I'd like to say that I'm a little bit older than my daughter, of course, and I don't always remember to just shake it off and move forward. So,
Easier said than done
yes.
because when we were little, the damage was done, and that's called trauma. 95% of my clients have had trauma in
Mm,
some sort of way. So those words really sting sometimes. But now we're at an age, and if you're aware enough, you can say, I know what's going on. This is bringing up a memory or the way I felt when, I got bullied at school. But I'm in a safe place now. I don't allow that to happen to me. And that's the difference between parents and children.
right.
I think.
Absolutely.
And as you grow older, it doesn't matter how old you are, actually, you hold those traumas in, and when you hit that trigger, you're really surprised.
Hmm.
But it really does stick with you until you understand what happened, why it happened, and what you will allow to have control over you anymore.
Right. Right. So how do we set ourselves up to build the resilience in those because I know that in difficult seasons you learn something that you never learn
Right.
in the easy seasons, whatever that means, because I don't think I've ever had an easy season. But
Um, Life, yeah.
yeah, it's what do what do you feel like you learn in those hard seasons that you'll never learn in an easy season? And how can we dig into that to be ready for the next one?
I think it starts with communication, possibly. What are we saying to ourselves?
Ooh, communication to yourself. Yeah, I like that.
We're the only boss we have here. No one knows what we're thinking at this moment, what we've been through. We've got a few childhood friends that know some things because you chose to expose those things, those struggles. But I would say communication, what you say to yourself, it all it all circles around that, to be
Right,
honest with you. And then for me, it was years of the self-help books, to be honest with you, really. And you could read 95 pages and take two sentences out of that made a profound difference.
out
And
of
then
a
the book was worth it.
yeah.
The way it is. It's very rare to read something or go to a lecture and every word you're like, oh my gosh. It's identifying what you need, I think, out of those books and those lectures and then applying them to yourself. I'm going to do that. Getting therapy is huge. Strongly believe in therapy. And if you're just a little unsure, then coaching is great too. But know that it's not therapy. It's just empowering you from this moment and bringing you forward. Therapy brings you back, type thing. But communication, I think, with yourself is a huge deal to
Abs-
stay resilient.
Absolutely. I love that. So, how do you keep yourself open hearted to help the next person when you've had seasons of hurt yourself?
I think being, for me, it was awareness. See, I'm a pretty happy person. And when I was starting to feel that I was not a happy person, and I don't mean depressive, I just mean I didn't want to help people
Uh,
in the way I was. I was angry. And I said, no, no, no. I did get therapy during it. It was awesome. I also, in these trying times, I know my boundaries when psychologically and how I'm feeling. So, like being on this podcast is a positive thing. This is something positive and exciting for me. So, that's one good thing I'm doing today. I read positive books,
mm,
not just self-help books, but things that have a little adventure in them, possibly romance, lighthearted things.
mm,
Surround yourself with people that are just like you, a little different. And I know it's great to be around people that are completely different because you grow that way. But in really hard, resilient times, especially now where we get bombarded by social media with negativity and anger and everything, I choose to not really get engaged in it. I don't go to political rallies. I don't choose sides. Anybody that's spewing something, I don't care who you believe, I don't dig it, as they
yeah,
say. I click it off and I go,
same.
not happening. I'm not going to. And I know there was one person from my high school that was spewing stuff, and I felt so compelled to say, do you find the facts out? Do you read anything? And I made the tragic mistake of sticking up for one comment that was made. And
Mm,
I got just bombarded. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I said, Anne, that was a great lesson. You went over your boundaries.
ooh,
You have to let it go. It's not worth your energy. It's not.
agreed.
I mean, I don't even remember what really it was about now.
Hmm.
So it's really, really being aware of what are your triggers here to
Yeah.
stay resilient and calm. And some people go for meditation is a great one, Reiki is a good one, massages, walking, things like, but that's aligned with what works for you, not
Hmm.
for everybody. Not everybody can do those. Not everybody can pay for it. I tend to lean towards the free things. So walking is good for me. I know when I need it too. I go, oh, I've been on the computer too long. Mm-mm-mm. I get up, go get the mail, do this, do that. I feel stressed out. I go for a walk. It does really clear your mind. Pick and
Yes.
choose great places to do it too. If you can take a car ride, I'm lucky I live right by the water, so I go down to the beach or I go to a state park or something like that.
Mm,
But that's how I keep my boundaries in check. And it's really all about becoming aware of what works for your body. Because what works for you, Rebecca, might not work for me. You might say, well, I watch the news at 5, 6, and 10. And I'm okay with that. I would say I don't watch the news. I watch it at 9 o'clock, more of the local news because I can
mm,
see what's going on in my area. But as soon as they start talking about wars, political thing, nastiness, I mute it.
yeah.
I mute
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And anybody that knows me knows I don't even turn it on.
But that's a good thing.
It totally is. I protect my space. I need my mind and I need my
See?
faculties to take care of my family and my business.
That's right. And that's wonderful to know that because there's a lot of people that don't. And
Yeah.
I've said to people, I go, do you just realize how your temperament changed? My other half, when he gets involved in all these things, I said, now you're all stressed out and now you're talking louder to me. And I'm like, it's not working. So be aware of what these things do to you. Your blood pressure goes up and stuff like that. So that's how I really deal with keeping resilience in check. That it's always Instead of big leaps, it's tiny leaps, but it's leaps. It's like when they say take a step forward, doesn't matter how far you go. That's really true. Because if you can just say, today, I didn't watch the news,
Mm,
it's awesome. It's wonderful. Yeah.
absolutely. Well, final question, Anne, before we wrap it up and let our guests get back to whatever they have scheduled for the rest of their day, I have one question for you, and that is if you were a thesaurus and you typed in the word resilience, what would your synonym be?
Empowerment.
Empowerment.
Because if you've got the resilience, there isn't anything that can stop you. If you're resilient, you've got that power inside of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what
Absolutely.
it means to me. It's
I
almost like going to the doctor's office and getting a shot. It's just keep going.
government shot.
Yeah, we all need it. We all do need it one time or another. So that's what it means to me.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, Anne, I want to thank you for joining me today. It's been so much fun hearing your insight and wisdom that you brought to the podcast today. And I'm thrilled to have you on today. And I want to tell our guests to make sure that you listen to this. And if something spoke to you, feel free to share it with anyone you feel would benefit, because I know both Anne and I, our whole idea behind what we do is to empower other people, is to help them build resilience, and to let them know that they are never alone and they are stronger than they think. So I look forward to talking with you all the next time with our next guest. And Anne, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. This has been wonderful. Thank you, Rebecca.
I loved it. So we look forward to seeing you next time.
Take care, everybody.